What's up, people? Sorry about that. But yeah, we're gonna do a quick preview for tomorrow's game. That man probably gonna be losing his mind. You know how it goes. It never ends. Never ends. But uh, looking for a good result tomorrow. Honestly. Yeah. The boys are a little hungry, but I'm running out of daylight, so I gotta do this as fast as possible. Manchester United against Brighton, Hove, and Albion. What a game! A team that likes to fall behind and come from behind and score a goal to equalize and draw the game 1-1 in Brighton, Hove, and Albion, who've done it all season against a team that recently has picked up the terrible habit of taking the lead and then conceding the goal and drawing the game 1-1 in Manchester United. Like, what? I wonder what the scoreline could possibly be. I mean, who wants to predict this scoreline? I will. 1-1. Honestly, 1-1. Straight off the bat, my prediction, 1-1. Honestly, because if you look at it, I mean, obviously, the emotional aspect of this is me wanting to say, but we're gonna bounce back. We've had 3 disappointing results in a row. We've looked terrible in 4 games in a row. Really, haven't really created that many chances. Haven't really looked like scoring often. Really, with the chances that we have created. I mean, I'm saying we haven't created that many chances. We had 82 shots the last 3 games, and so me saying we haven't created that many chances is like saying that it's not bright outside, which it is bright outside. So that's obviously not true. And you just automatically, when you score 3 goals in 3 games, you automatically think that it's because you're not creating chances. But it's not the case. You have actually created chances, and how on earth we've only scored 1 goal in each of our last 4 games is a mystery. Honestly, Mystery Incorporated has to come in and solve this because it's an absolute mystery. But it's not a mystery, really, because, in all 3 games, we've led at halftime, and in all 3 games, we've switched off, and the other team has come out in the second half and looked slightly capable of doing something, and they have found an equalizer, and we haven't been able to find an answer. All 3 of them, and it's the same thing. I had someone say deja vu. It's happened again, and we don't seem to be able to learn from it, and we don't seem to be able to change. And I figured out the reason why, or at least I have a theory why we don't seem to be able to learn from it, is because we don't admit to ourselves that that's a problem. The players, obviously the fans can see that it's a problem, but the players don't admit to themselves that they are underperforming. Most of them think that it's all going rosy and people are overreacting and people don't know what they're talking about. And I think that's the most dangerous thing that a man could do, is to think that everything is okay. And when I say man, I mean human race, not just man. The most dangerous thing that a human can do is think that they're perfect and everything is okay and it's all rosy, and because then there's no room. If it's perfect, there's no room for change. There's no room for improvement. There's no room for growth, and that's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of anything in life, is room for growth. Always improving, always getting better, always sharpening the skills, always trying to get perfect. Not ever being perfect, but always trying to get perfect, trying to get better every single day. That's what life is all about. Everything that you do in life is all about getting better, all about trying to reach the peak of your performance. But you're never going to reach the peak of your performance because you're always trying to get there. That's just how it is. You're always improving, always moving forward. The curve is always going upwards. The moment that curve stagnates, or that curve starts to tip downwards, that's the end. That's the end. Honestly, that's the end of anything, and that's where we are as a team right now. Is pretty much all our players are in the situation where they all like, it's not my fault, it's his fault, or it's his fault, or it's their fault, or it's the other person's fault. And it's like, well, if something's going wrong and something continues to go wrong in your life, you don't just say, oh, you know what, it has to be other people. Like, it can only be other people for so long before it's your fault. That's just how it is. Like, it can only be other people's fault for so long before it becomes actually your fault that's not going the way you probably want it to go. And another question: do they want it to go better? Do they actually want to challenge for titles? Do they actually care about any of that? Do they care about that? It's obviously a cliche because you're like, oh well, of course they care. They're professional players. They want to win, but do they care? I mean, do they actually care? You see the way they perform on that field, and you look at it. Okay, obviously, it's been making the rounds. Everybody's been picking on him or whatever, or not picking on him, or it's been other people's fault. Whatever it is that the story that they're trying to sell, which I am obviously never gonna buy, but. Harry Maguire, the captain the leader of this team, the supposed captain and leader and number one guy, poster boy of this team. Just looking at him shows why we have this problem in our team. Shows why we have this problem in our club. Shows why we have this problem. He's the personification of Manchester United issues, and it's not about picking on him. It's not about anything that anybody can think it is. He is the personification of our issues because he has a massive and incredibly huge problem when it comes to taking responsibility for his actions. I mean, I saw an interview of him after the Burnley game where he gets spun by Verghast, and then Verghast plays the pass through to Rodriguez. He can't recover. Then Rodriguez comes in, and I felt like David De Gea guessed, and which is why he considered that goal, because he guessed that Rodriguez was going to try and bend it in, and Rodriguez didn't try to bend it in. Rodriguez just waited for him to make a move, and then Rodriguez took the other option, which was open. So he guessed that Rodriguez was going to rush. Rodriguez didn't rush, and Rodriguez was able to capitalize on that. But it wasn't De Gea's fault. It wasn't Luke Shaw's fault, and then you can say, oh, Luke Shaw is behind the line or whatever. It wasn't Luke Shaw's fault. Because if the defensive line is not accurate, guess who's at fault for that? If a defensive line cannot stay together. Because it wasn't just Luke. It wasn't like all three of the other. I've seen a lot of goals ever considered where like three of our players are in line, and then one of them is on the back. It wasn't that. Dallo was up here. Maguire was here. Varane was here. Like everybody was the line. There was no line. The line was a jagged. All four of them. If you look at that line against Burnley, it was like this. Like it was all jagged, and it wasn't like jagged. Like at least two were in line. No, none of the two of our four defenders were in line with each other. None of them. Every single one of them was in a different spot, in a different point on the line. And so how is that a defensive line anyway? So like blaming Shaw is just stupid because it could have been literally any one of them being the deepest man, based on the fact that nobody was actually taking responsibility. You know who's supposed to take responsibility? Make sure everybody's in line? The captain, the leader, the one in the center back line. Because you could say, oh, the goalkeeper could have called him, but the goalkeeper is not the leader. The goalkeeper is not the captain. The captain is the center back. Van Dijk is the captain for Liverpool when Henderson is not there. How many times do you see Liverpool, a ball come over the top, and Liverpool Liverpool played Burnley on Sunday. How many times was there a ball over the top that Burnley got in behind, but they got in behind because Liverpool played a high line, and they were all stepping, they were playing a high line, like an actual line, an actual straight line they were playing. The ball went over the top, and Burnley were able to get in behind them, but then it was either overhit or the goalkeeper came out and swept it. That's what happens when you have a line that everybody is actually on the line. If that was United and they played a high line, it would be, Dalot would be halfway or just a little bit ahead of halfway. Varane would be on the halfway line. Maguire would drop a little bit deeper than him. Shaw would be all the way in the back or something. It will never be an actual line because nobody's playing as a team. Nobody's playing for each other. That's the problem. Nobody's playing for each other. Everybody's just trying to not be the one that makes the crucial mistake, which means everybody ends up being the one that makes the crucial mistake. I mean, Bruno Fernandes puts on his cape against Southampton and just flies to the goalkeeper. I'm going to be the one to win the ball back. We've already talked about this before in another video, so I'm not going to waste my time that much. But he flies with his cape. I'm going to be the savior. I'm superhero, Bruno, super Bruno. I'm going to go save everybody and press. And Ronaldo's like, what's going on? And then they just pass the ball around Pogba and McTominay. People going after Pogba and McTominay, forgetting the fact that Bruno Fernandes actually was part of that midfield. And then since he jumped all the way in the front, everybody got exposed in the back because he jumped ranks. You don't press individually. You press, and that's what I'm saying, not playing as a team. You press as a team. You defend as a team. You attack as a team. Everybody's trying to do their own thing. Rashford gets the ball and decides, you know what, I'm going to shoot from 17 degrees north of east. I'm going to be able to squeeze that in from that angle on the goalkeeper because there's any Premier League goalkeeper that's going to get beat from there. Anyone. Any League 2 goalkeeper is going to get beat from that angle. Now, even I wouldn't get beat from that angle. That's the problem. And we have players making decisions that are individually beneficially, but never going to be able to benefit the team. How many times have you seen Phil Foden, who we saw his shot against Liverpool last year in that 4-1 victory, where he powered it. We even saw the goal he scored against Liverpool this season, where he powered it all the way through Alisson. How many times do you see Foden just shoot from a freaking ridiculous angle when Sterling is in the box waiting for a tap in? How many times? Exactly. We're not gonna be able to get the goals that goal that what's he called scored. Fun enough, Rashford scored against West Ham. We're not gonna get as many of those goals because every time that ball gets to that byline, instead of looking for that kind of pass, our winger is going, oh no, actually, you know what, I can squeeze it in from here. And you're moving, like I said, in the reaction after the Southampton game, if you're moving a player into a different position and moving the player who plays best in that position out of that position just so you can accommodate for that player not taking directive from you, you have failed. You have failed as a coach. Honestly, and that's where I feel like Ranić is failing as a coach because he continues to make the same decisions that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made and thinking that since he's a better coach, which he is, it's going to work. It's not going to work because it wasn't because Ole was a terrible coach. Ole is a terrible coach, but that's not why that failed. That failed because that was a bad idea. That's why it failed. It didn't fail because the coach is bad. It failed because the idea is bad. That tactic is not effective. And if you continue to play, and you can say, oh, you know, we want Rashford to get in behind. How many in behind goals have we got since Rashford? Rashford has started how many games now? How many in behind goals have we got in any of those games? None. We haven't had any in behind goals in those games. The last in behind goal we had was when Leicester against Leicester City when we lost 4-2 anyway. So that the good that did for us. But when the ball went over the top and he was able to get in behind, and that was Rashford's return game where he scored in the 80-something minute, and then we considered right away anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But that was the last time we scored an in behind goal, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, where is this? I hear a lot of United fans that go to the games. They talk about how fast Elanga is. So if Elanga is that fast and Elanga is playing better, why wouldn't you just play Elanga then? Because Elanga is going to listen to your directive. When you tell Elanga, when you get to this place, either try to find your fullback or try to cross the ball. He's not gonna get in and try to cut in and try to shoot from a ridiculous angle. He's not gonna try to make an angle when there's no angle. He's gonna pass the ball off. He's gonna listen to you and take directive. If your player is not listening to you and not taking directive and you continue to pick him, it's your fault. It's your fault because your player has already demonstrated to you that either he doesn't care enough to do it or he's not capable of doing it. Either way, you know, either he doesn't want to do it or he's not capable of doing it. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he's not doing it. And you want that to be done for the team. So if he's failing at that and you continue to encourage that behavior by picking him, then you are failing as a coach. That's just how it is. You know, so it can only be it's only the player's fault, but for 1, 2, 3 times before it becomes the manager's fault. Same thing we had with McFred last season. We have with Maguire and Lindelof, where he continued to pick them and they continued to make mistakes that cost us. And he continued to pick them because there were games where they didn't make a mistake that cost us. And then he'd be like, oh, you know what? I see you all wrong. But we weren't wrong because we were right because at the end, we didn't win anything last season. And we're not winning anything this season because of decisions like that. And that's the point I'm trying to make. And I've already spent way too much time talking about this. But at the end of the day, the issues at Manchester United are based on the fact that there's just way too much individualism and way too much finger pointing. And at that point, lack of self-reflection and lack of, you know, ability to take responsibility for one's actions is always going to lead to disaster in every aspect and every area of life. Every area of life. If you're not able to take responsibility for your actions, you're always going to fail. That's just how it is. No, and it's not about witch hunting. It's not about being overly critical. It's not about any of that. It's just honest truth. If you consistently cannot take responsibility for your actions, you're not gonna be successful. That's just how it is. And you know, I haven't even talked about Brighton who are playing tomorrow. You know, you can talk about Man United for so long, and you can just talk about the problems, talk about the issues, talk about different aspects. Like this is just one of the issues Man United have. This is not just the only issues they have. I mean, we don't even have a board. Really, we don't have owners. We have a director of football that has no experience how to actually be a director of football. Probably doesn't even know what his job description is as a director of football. As a competent director of football, not Manchester United director of football. You know, and like I said on Saturday, you know, we are not we're not Manchester United right now. We are every second, every moment we step onto the field, we are desecrating our name. We are disgracing our good name as a competent team that actually knew how to win, that actually knew how to compete, actually knew how to create legacy, and actually has a football heritage. That team does not have a football heritage. That team doesn't have an identity, let alone a heritage. And every second they go out there, they disgrace that name. Should change our name, not Manchester United anymore. But like I said, prediction 1-1 against Brighton. Brighton like to draw a lot. They really, the only thing I can cover them, they like to draw a lot. Look out for Marpe. He's going to be a threat. Welbeck off the bench is going to be a threat as well. Marpe might be on the bench and he might start because I think Marpe started the last game. So you never know. Actually, I think Brighton won the last game. So that's something good for them, I guess. They haven't really won that many games this season. They've drawn a lot of games. They haven't lost that many games either, so that's good news for them. But they're doing pretty well. It's going to be a tough game, very difficult game. They like to move the ball around. They're very, very capable of moving the ball around, just like Southampton. Actually, I think they are better than Southampton, so it's going to be very interesting to see what we do against that team because I think that team is a very, very dangerous team, and they might even end up winning this game. But I have no confidence that we can win. That doesn't mean we can't win because I remember going into a Manchester Derby last year where I was like, we're getting battered. We're getting destroyed. We're getting walked over. And I thought it was going to be a whitewash. And we ended up winning 2-0. We didn't even consider a goal. So you can't really predict United games. Obviously, you got to try. But you can't really predict what team is going to be out there because we don't even know who's going to start, who's not going to start. He continues to pick players that should never be starting. Maguire, I don't know how he's still in the team. Rashford, likewise. Sure, you can understand because Telles has been out with COVID, and then he was ill, and then he went to the international break and all that. So all that extra stuff has all contributed to the fact that Shaw has had to start anyway because Telles wasn't ready. And people talking about Ronaldo, you're wasting your time. Like I already said, he's playing like he's 37 years old, and guess what? Guess what? Newsflash: Cristiano Ronaldo is 37 anyway. So if he's playing like he's 37, he's 37. So deal with it. That's just how it is. Like you didn't spend 200 million pounds to bring Ronaldo when he back to Old Trafford when he was 30 or when he was 29. So I know what you're complaining about. You brought him back to the club when he was 36, and he single-handedly got you into the Champions League round of 16. So I don't know what you're complaining about. At the end of the day, Ronaldo has declined. Ronaldo hasn't lost a step, and Ronaldo is having a bad time. But guess what? Form is temporary. That's the one thing. That's what I'm going to leave it at. Form is temporary, and I intentionally didn't speak about Graham Porter in this game, in this preview, because I really don't care. Honestly, I'm not that worried about. I mean, if we were doing so good, I would be speaking glowingly about how he's doing a great job and they're in the top half of the table. Who would have thought they would be in the top half of the table? If they could just turn some of those draws into wins that actually be challenging for Europe, the European places. But you know what? I'm not really worried about any of that. Honestly, like my team is in disarray. I don't really care about any other team. I only care about Manchester United. I've only ever cared about Manchester United, but it is what it is, and we'll see how it goes. 1-1 is my prediction. Another disappointing day, and I'm going to see you guys in the preview, in the review reaction video to the game after tomorrow. Probably, yeah, I'm not going to do a starting 11 reaction or whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, and, I'm going to be out. Thank you all for watching. Happy Valentine's Day again. I apologize if I sound a little downbeat. It's just every time I think about this, it just makes me a little depressed. I'm going to do that video and talk about, how difficult it was watching, and observing the things that happened in the fall time and, early winter, being the fact that I was deployed and having to deal with all that stuff, the extra, the regular deployment stuff, and dealing with this extra stress and what that did to my mental health. And I'm probably going to talk about that probably tomorrow, soon enough, honestly. And I'm also going to be doing a video talking about the goals for this. I've intentionally not mentioned it. I've put it in some of the description, but I did set a goal that we're going to try and get monetized by June. It's February now, so we might want to get going on that. So yeah, it's just like, just spread the word out. Get your boy. Help a brother out. Basically is what I'm trying to say. Help a brother out because there's one of me. You need like 1,000. You definitely need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. You need 4,000 watch hours. Like there's one of me. Like there's not much I can do other than put out the videos to get to those astronomical numbers. Uh, but I still need people to watch them. I still need people to enjoy and support the videos and all that. So, I'm doing my best, and I'll keep trying, keep improving, obviously. Get a better setup, get a better, I'm trying to get a green screen so I can like show different things and be in different places at the same time, which would be actually kind of cool. But yeah, I'm gonna be out. Actually excited myself. See, talking about the progress and talking about the channel actually gets me excited and all that. Just don't talk about Man United. But yeah, hopefully we can win tomorrow. I don't think we will, but you just temper expectations and hopefully I'll be proved wrong and we actually will win. But yeah, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Valentine's Day and the rest of the week. Rest of February. February is an amazing month. Happy Black History Month, by the way. I forgot to say that. And yeah, I'm gonna be out. Peace.